Hi, my name is Lonnie Stepler, and today I'd like to talk with you about something that we can do in the midst of craziness. And as you can see, according to the title, that is praying. So, just to give you a little bit of context, today is September 30th, 2020. So, last night we had the first of three presidential debates in the United States between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And it was a crazy debate to watch, and it left me feeling a little crazy myself. And so I was renewed in my motivation to do something fruitful with this craziness rather than just feed into the polarization of our culture and the sense of apathy and frustration and hopelessness that I sometimes feel in this area of civil government. So the specific resource I want to share with you today was shared with me last week by a friend of mine when we were talking about civil government. And I thought, how have I not heard about this resource? So I'm excited to share it with you today. And I encourage you to not just listen to this video and go on to another video, but after you watch this video, do something with the information that you hear. So the resource that I want to share with you is published by the Presidential Prayer Team, and their website is presidentialprayerteam.org. They are an organization that has been in existence since 2001. And they publish this very practical tool called the National Leadership Prayer Journal. And they publish it on a quarterly basis, not just in election years, but I don't know if they've done this since they first started in 2001, but certainly as of late, they have done this on a quarterly basis. And so I got mine in the mail last week and was so excited about the practicality of it, the simplicity of it. It doesn't take a lot of time. But I think for me, I oftentimes resist praying for this area of civil government because it feels so complex. I feel like I can't wrap my mind around everything that's going on. And so having a guide that also has a little bit of education in it is very helpful for me. And I hope if you check it out, you find it helpful as well. So I want to give you a glance into what the days look like. So I did tomorrow's this morning. And so there's a foundational verse for the day, and then it goes into a little bit of education about something to do with our civil government. And then it gives some more general things to pray for with this history lesson in mind. And then it gives some names of specific leaders to pray for. And then there is a prayer prompt and a space to write if you choose to do that. So very simple, very practical, takes a few minutes. If I'm honest, as I read it, I was like, oh, I do know so little and I have so much to learn. But the part of me that loves to learn, this can begin to nourish that part of me instead of just staying uneducated about this area of civil government. So I encourage you to go to presidentialprayerteam.org. We'll have the specific link for this resource in the show notes. And I want to also share with you one other thing that they do that I found very interesting. So they have another website called praythevote.org. Again, that link will be in the show notes. And that has to do with a study that they did in partnership with George Barna called the Vital Signs Study. And I want to just read this to you briefly because this is another great guide for praying about specific issues in our country. So this one is oriented more around individual leaders and general departments of our civil government, whereas the praythevote.org, I think that is unique to an election year, but it gives some guidance around how to pray for different issues from marriage and family to law and order, all of these different things. And so I want to read this to you about what the website says about vital signs. It says, in the largest study of its kind, the Presidential Prayer Team, in partnership with George Barna, surveyed thousands of Americans to determine the faith, values, and concerns that matter most to our nation. Using the results of the Vital Signs study, we've created an in-depth and comprehensive look into each of the top issues to better encourage, strengthen, and inform Americans as they prepare and pray for the upcoming election. So that website, praythevote.org, is put together by the Presidential Prayer Team, but that is unique to the election year, whereas this they publish on an ongoing basis. So I encourage you, go to the website, check it out, and before I close, I want to share with you another thought. David Jeremiah, I believe it was him who said that prayer is our declaration of dependence. And in a culture that really values independence, we need to remember to declare our dependence on God. And our founding fathers designed our form of government with dependence on God at the foundation. They understood that without a self-governed people, our republic could not continue. And so in light of declaring our independence from Great Britain, they were in many ways declaring our dependence on God. And although many people in our culture today resist that thought, I think it is a humble thought that is in line with truth. I did nothing to make myself breathe today. It's part of how I have been designed. I did nothing to be an American. I was born an American. I recognize some people do actively engage in that. But nonetheless, as being born and breathing today and as an American, there's a stewardship responsibility with that. And I want to recognize that this is a gift from God. This is a gift from military personnel who have laid down their lives, our founding fathers and other people who have fought for specific rights that I benefit from. All of these things are not just gifts to be used and abused or taken for granted. They are gifts to be grateful for and to learn how to properly steward so that future generations might benefit from these gifts as well. So I want to encourage you, in the midst of all of the craziness, do something fruitful rather than feeding into the unhelpful narrative that the mainstream media sources oftentimes give us. So thank you so much for your time. If you found this video beneficial, I would greatly appreciate a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos in the future, I encourage you to subscribe. Take care. Bye-bye.